I don't know how many years ago it was. I was at a TEDx at Wabash College, and I'll say it, yeah. I heard this amazing lady right here talk, and I'm like, oh, I love her, and I want to know her and meet her. And then through Wellbeing Fest years, I was like, hey, I wanted her to be here. So she was doing her amazing thing, like retreats in Bali and like things like that. So she wasn't able to be here, which we understood. And this year, I get an email from her, and she's like, oh, I'm in town. And I'm like, yes, you're number 10. We get to have Eartheart with us. So I tell you, when I have said to people that Christine was going to be with us, if they knew her, they're like, oh, I love her. Oh my gosh, I've done so many of her trainings. I love her and her husband. They're so genuine in their spirits. And I was sharing in a meeting one day, and another one, I just saw her face when I said your name. She was like she didn't even say anything, but you could see her whole being was like, oh my gosh. And come to find out, yes, you were crucial and a pivotal moment in that person's life too. So you all are in for a treat. It's with her and through this whole day. You never know when there's going to be a pivotal moment and an amazing aha in your life. So just be really open to that, possibly being right here, right now. So Christine is the founder of Joy Potential. She has studied many things like religion and positive psychology and all sorts of things in between. She really loves watching or teaching people about their brains, so we'll get some of that today, and our brain's response during times of stress and conflict. I'm sure none of us have any of that. And connection, which is what we're here for today. She loves equipping people with tools then to create deeply thriving relationships and lives. So please joyfully and exuberantly welcome Christine to our Wellbeing.
So much. Thank you to Jen. You just poured your heart into creating this. So such a joy and honor and blessing to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for coming out on this cozy, cozy day. So this dot right here, this represents the inevitable challenges of life. And chances are, because you are human, you sometimes have a complicated relationship with this here dot. So if I were to ask you, is this a big dot? Your brilliant brain would quickly go scanning for things to compare it to. Because whether it's a big dot or a small dot, it's relative, right? Based on maybe other things you've seen, other dots you've discovered along the way. So for example, if I were to place this dot on this piece of paper here, you might think, well, that is a pretty big dot. However, there exists all around this dot a world of what is possible and available. So I am passionate about this world of what's possible and available. However, it requires us to do two things. One is to believe in it and to recognize it as such. And two, for us to actively cultivate it in order to tap into the miraculous magnitude of what it's here to offer us. And this world of what's possible exists inside of every one of us, all around us, and in every situation. So I consider myself a self-proclaimed possibilitarian, someone who is enthusiastic about what is possible and available. And I invite all of you, just for a moment, to join me in being a possibilitarian. So I have decided the universal sign for being a possibilitarian is to do what my dear nephews taught me many years ago, and that is to make a W with your left hand, a W with your right hand, and an O with your mouth. Because we possibilitarians love to live in a state of perpetual wonder. So, amazing job, everyone. So if we were to take this dot and put it here in the world of what's possible, Because a lot of people spend so much time simply fixated on this dot here. But instead, there's all this room here for us to grow. We get to grow more of what we want to feel. We get to grow who you want to be. We get to grow how you want to show up for others, for life, for yourself. You get to grow more of what you want to create, more of what you want to experience. You get to grow more of what you want to share. Grow more of how you want to serve, and how you want to contribute and leave this world better than you found it. More of what you value. I'm going to put this down for a moment. More of what you, can you hear me?
Yeah.
More of what you value in life. And what you'll see is that this dot, right, it's still here. But we are growing the good so fully around it that it shrinks in comparison. We are not denying that this dot exists, but we can actually dilute difficulty by growing the good. And I am so excited to share with you how you can tap into what I consider the greatest technology we will ever have, the human mind, body, heart, and spirit, to grow the good more fully in our hearts, in our lives, in our relationships, and in the world. So who's in? Let's do it. All right. So this here, what are you holding in your life right now? What is your dot? So maybe it is financial challenges. Maybe it's relational challenges. Maybe it's challenges in your career, or with your health. Maybe it's things that didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to. Maybe it's worry about the state of the world right now. Whatever it is, I bet you just explore for a moment, how do you respond to challenges that inevitably arise in being human? And this is just to bring them out into the light of loving awareness without any judgment whatsoever. When a challenge occurs, are you someone who goes running away from the challenge, only to discover that in running away from the challenge, you also run away from yourself and from your dreams? Or, thank you so much. Or are you someone who tends to fixate on the challenge? You ruminate about it, overthink it, only to discover that that makes the challenge a whole lot bigger. Or do you sometimes tend to freeze, only to discover that the challenges actually get stuck in your body and lead to things like chronic fatigue, tension, anxiety, and ultimately to self-betrayal? Or do you tend to deny that a challenge even exists, which can lead to blind spots and to also denying the opportunities for so many creative solutions? Or do you numb out, scrolling, shopping, drinking, eating your challenges, or any other number of things we humans can do, only to discover we've not only numbed ourselves from the challenges, but we've numbed ourselves from our aliveness? Or are you someone who sometimes wants to blame others for your challenges and give it away to them, but in doing so find that you not only try to give away your challenges, but you give away your power and your opportunity for wisdom and growth? Or do you sometimes shrink to fit within the confines of your challenges, your pain, your fears, rather than grow and expand to fit the size of your dreams? Or sometimes, do you go into a destructive fight response? Which, as you can see, doing this creates a lot of stress and tension and ultimately takes us further away from who we really are. So again, no judgment about any of these things whatsoever. So much grace and compassion to ourselves and others. Who here has tried some of these strategies before? We all have, right? And we're not here to get it right and perfect. No failures, only feedback. We're really here just to simply learn and grow and figure out what works and what doesn't work. And these strategies, even though at times they may help us a little bit, they also, chances are, hold you back and weigh you down and limit your ability to really tap into what's available. So what if there was another strategy that was more fun, it was actually easier and more effective? Would you be interested? Yeah. Let's do it! And that is to grow the good so fully around and inside of our challenges that we do not deny them, but we dilute them. So you'll see up here on the screen, we have these two images. These are actually from the same garden plot. So on the left, we have these weeds. And of course, at times we want to be weeding our lives and letting go of things that may have once served a purpose but no longer do. And the aim is not to not have weeds, because life, we're going to have weeds. However, on the right there, the weeds are actually still there. You don't even see them because there are all those flourishing flowers. There's so much beauty. And so this is your invitation to really become a gardener of goodness. So one of my favorite places on the entire planet is Bali. It is definitely one of my heart homes. When I first went to Bali years ago, I was struck by the number of these prayer offerings they make. So here they are, they're called Kanang Sari. And the women, they wake up early every morning and they make dozens, some of them make hundreds of these every morning. And they offer them as these blessings for gratitude. And so you'll see them all over homes, temples, you'll see them in banks, even gas stations. And the incense just fills the air, all these beautiful colored flowers. So one day, I'm hanging out with my new Balinese friend, Kadek, outside a temple. We're standing on the street, and all of a sudden I was like, Kadek, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was just standing on one of the prayer offerings. And he's like, oh, no problem, as the Balinese do. And I asked him, I was like, well, what are all of these prayer offerings that just line all the streets? And he shared with me about one of the most beautiful cultural traditions I've ever heard about. So the Balinese deeply value living from the heart and with open hearts, because they realize that when we keep our hearts open, we leave the space for things like love, joy, gratitude, spirituality, our divine connection, generosity, for those things to flow even more readily into, through, and from us as well. So they believe that there are these lower spirits, and they have options. They could fight with the lower spirits, try to dominate them, they could resist them, they could judge them, blame them, avoid them, but they don't do any of that. They instead grow the good. They decide to let their love get even bigger, even bolder, even stronger, and they line the streets with all of these prayer offerings, which are actually a sign of love and blessing to these lower spirits. So in life, we can so often harden and close our hearts, or we can let the love of who we are get even bigger, even brighter. I love how the Balinese do just that. So there are countless ways how this notion of grow the good has totally transformed my own life, including my marriage. So I have been with my beloved Brett for 23 years now, and we are in truly the marriage of our dreams. And it hasn't always been easy. So a few years into our relationship, we are sitting on the couch in a night I'll never forget, and we turn to look at each other and realize that our relationship is no longer bringing out our best. And we decided that we had three options. We could bless each other on our separate paths, thinking that maybe our differences were true incompatibilities. Or we could stay stuck in those delightfully unhealthy patterns we were in, realize recognizing that, we would probably stay stuck in those patterns for a long time. Or our third option was to dive in and learn everything we could about how to have a healthy, conscious, thriving relationship. So fortunately, we chose this option. And that night we ordered this tall stack of books, and at the time it was DVDs and CD courses, and we devoted every Friday night to what we called Conscious Date Night. We grew the good in our relationship, and it utterly transformed. So after we had some years of this, we longed for this for every couple on the planet. And so we decided about 15 years ago to open up what's called the Center for Thriving Relationships. And we've now had the profound honor of supporting tens of thousands of couples around the world to grow the good in their own relationships too. Because that is what happens when we grow the good in our own lives. It isn't just for us. It truly spills over to everyone around us. So I am a big fan of not just saying things, but letting you experience it. So we're going to do various things with this. And for starters, we're going to test this out in your body so you can feel what it feels like to grow the good. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable. Of course, everything is optional. To close your eyes, and I invite you just to take a wonderful, deep, delicious, cleansing breath. And I invite you to bring into your awareness any challenge that you are holding in your life right now, whatever it might be. Nothing is too big or too small, just trust whatever intuitively comes. And as you bring this challenge into your awareness, I invite you to notice what's happening in your body. Scanning your body from the top of your head down to your toes. And as you scan, simply notice for any place you feel a tightness, constriction, a heaviness. Just trust whatever you notice. Once you identify some area where it feels like a constriction, maybe it's a heaviness in your chest, clenching in your stomach, in your back, I invite you just for a brief moment to imagine if you were fighting with this. Imagine if you were blaming it, judging it, blaming and judging someone else for it. Imagine if you were denying it, and just notice. Chances are it probably didn't make it any smaller. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath and let that go. Now I invite you, using your breath and your loving attention, to turn towards this beautiful, tender place and to allow your breath to expand the space around it. So all around this area where you felt this tension, this constriction, expand the space. Just let it get so big, giving this part of you all the space and all the permission, the whole wide world, and it needs to be here. Letting your breath just get it bigger and bigger, expanding the space. And now I invite you to call in, invite into that space the presence of love. And perhaps for you it is love with a capital L. Invite in love to illuminate and saturate and fill that space. Invite in whatever is sacred to you, the earth, spirit, source, God, Goddess, the divine energy, the great mystery, this infinite wellspring. Allow it to envelop whatever was there and fill the space. And then I invite you to imagine this presence of love enveloping you, surrounding you, holding you as you hold whatever is there. And giving thanks for this presence. And noticing for a moment if it feels different in your body. Perhaps it feels a bit lighter. You've just grown the good by letting love get even bigger. I've had the honor of supporting many, many clients over the past 2 decades. Sometimes they would come to me with something really challenging and would pause mid-sentence asking me, is that too much? Is it too much to share? And I would always look at them and say, never. Whatever it is, love can always get bigger. You go ahead and let that go. Good job, everyone. Thanks for playing with me. All right, so if you are wondering, hopefully you got a bit of a felt sense of that. Who felt a little more light when you grew the good around it? Hooray, way to go. Okay, so if you are wondering now, is growing the good, is it naive? Is it selfish? Is it frivolous? Does it mean I just have to live in denial? I want to assure you that research actually in positive psychology shows, so positive psychology is the science of optimal human functioning. It shows that our brains are 31% more productive at positive than they are at negative, neutral, or stressed. So our brain actually lights up even more when we're in a positive state. We see things even more clearly, not less. And I could share a whole host of research with you about how Grow the Good is so practical, so productive, so efficient. Suffice it to say for now, it is all those things. When we grow the good, we are more fulfilled, more alive, more inspired. We have improved physical health and immunity. Our mental health increases. We have better relationships. It fosters collaboration and togetherness. We have so much more to give the world. We are more generous. I love to think goodness in, goodness out, goodness in, goodness out. Just to exist in this continual stream of allowing it in and then spreading it far and wide. So we're going to do something to get us pumped up because we're going to go over 7 different ways that you can start growing the good in your everyday life today, even and especially in the midst of really challenging times. So to get us pumped up, we're going to do, okay, this half of the room is going to say, grow the, and you're going to say, good. We're going to do it 3 times. You ready? Ready? Grow the.
Good.
Grow the.
Good.
Grow the.
Good.
Woo! Okay, fabulous. Good work, everyone. That is awesome. No, thanks so much. You're growing the good right over there with us. Okay, so here we are. Tip number 1 for how you can get started growing the good. The first thing is to commit to it again and again, to commit to growing the good, even before you have any clue how. So why is this so important? It is connected to one of my favorite parts of the brain. I'm in a bit of a love affair with this part of our brain. It's called the reticular activating system, or the RAS, and it's a bundle of nerves in our brainstem, and its job is to filter out all of the unimportant information and reveal to us what's most important. So if you were to imagine that you lived in New York City, and you're downtown New York City in this dream apartment you always wanted, and it's a bit noisy. People are partying, there's horns honking, there's people talking, all sorts of things, and you're trying to sleep. So your reticular activating system is like, no worries, those sounds aren't important, so I'm going to filter all of those out so you can sleep soundly. However, if you were a small child or your dog needed you in the other room and cried out for help, I'll make sure I alert you to that. Maybe you've experienced this before, like someone says your name in a crowd and it's like, how do I hear that? That's the reticular activating system. So in that moment for our survival, we need to be able to sleep. We also need to know if someone who needs us cries out for help. So it's genius, right? So we're going to do a little test with it right now, and then we're going to talk about the implications of it. So I invite you to go ahead and look around this room. What color shall we do? Let's look for blue. Let's look around the room for blue. Anything that is blue in this room. So blue, blue, blue could be on anybody, anything. Blue, 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 blue. There's not a ton of blue. I think it's more challenging. Blue, blue. Anybody who has blue on is really helping the cause right now. Thank you. Blue, 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 blue. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes. And now with your eyes still closed, I invite you to think of what you saw that was red. So eyes still closed. What did you see that was red? Eyes still closed. What did you see that was yellow? Okay, good job. Go ahead and open your eyes and see what you may have missed. Isn't it so cool? Because every moment we would be overwhelmed if we were actually registering all the sights and sounds and smells. And so what this means is that your brain, how it knows what is important or not, is from the thoughts that we have. So if you go into an experience, you're like, this is going to be awful. Your brain is like, all right, well, if it's going to be awful, I want to show you all the evidence for how that is the case. And it's truly what we see. However, if we commit in any moment, any experience to say, I'm going to grow the good in this. And this really can be a mantra, a companion, an ally on your journey. Grow the good before you even know how. And here's some other examples of ones that I love to use in my own life. I love to say, it's all going to work out, even before I have any clue how it's going to work out. Because it's simply practical. The moment that you say it's all going to work out, your reticular activating system is like, all right, well now let me highlight and reveal to you all the ways that it will indeed work out. Or another one of my favorites is, I'm going to turn this into something wonderful. And you can say this before you have any idea how, any idea what that something wonderful is going to be. Or another favorite of mine is trust it. Just trust it. And it's in saying trust it that all the reasons that we have, all the evidence that we get to build for why we really can trust it, only then are they revealed to us. Or another is, there is a creative solution to this. Actually, I heard someone say that this morning. I was like, there is a creative solution. And then we suddenly become really resourceful and creative solutions surface. All right. Number 2 is to hold on to what you want to remain after the storm has passed, because that is what will. So some of you, many of you perhaps are in the midst of a storm right now in your life, maybe a small storm, a big storm. Life is full of these moments that might feel a little more stormy. But I share with you, so 2024, my beloved Brett was experiencing a lot of health challenges with his heart, so a very vulnerable part of the body. And this evening we got a call from his doctor who checked his test results after Brett had been wearing a heart monitor. His doctor called us and he said, gosh, it is the thing I thought it wouldn't possibly be. It is the most dangerous thing. And so we're laying on our bed, holding each other, feeling the uncertainty, feeling the anxiety, the fear, of course. And truly, laying there, we looked at each other and said, we will turn this into something beautiful no matter what. So we're waiting for him to go to the emergency room. And we just declared, we will use this experience to grow our love even bigger, the love that we share, the love we have in our hearts for this life, for this world. We will become even more grateful, even more connected, no matter what. So Brett ended up having a whole year of health challenges, many visits to the emergency room, the hospital, multiple heart procedures. And friends would ask me so lovingly, how are you doing? And I would often share openly, authentically that, it was scary in moments. It's scary when we're in times of uncertainty, of course. And I shared over and over and over, and we are committed that no matter how big the challenge becomes, we are going to grow love, we are going to grow gratitude, we are going to become even more awake to the gifts and blessings that are already right here, right now, through every step of it. And we just kept committing to that and declaring that over and over. So here we are. Brett's now doing great. You can see him in flesh. Purple, my favorite color. That's for sure. And I will say that on the other side of that, when that storm passed, one of infinite examples of storms, we are more in love than ever. We've never been more connected because that's what we kept holding on to. So I just invite you, whatever storm you're in your life right now, to get really clear what you're holding on to. Because we can so intentionally in experiences hold on to those things that harden us, that make us bitter, that take us even further away from who we are. Or we can hold on to those things no matter how hard it gets, that on the other side of it we'll become even more of who we are and aligned even more with what we value. Number 3, tip for Grow the Good, is to use contrast for clarity. We're going to apply this when it comes to the ways that we humans relate to each other. So there's countless ways we could look at this. And so chances are, because you're human, sometimes you have judgments that arise for other people. Maybe you find certain qualities about people that you know, or maybe you see on social media or in the news or anywhere in your life. And you have some opinions. You find qualities like repelling. You've got judgment about them. So that's okay, that is human. It's what we do with these. So I invite you to go ahead and just think of somebody that you have some judgment around, or a quality that you find challenging in someone. I see some smiles on your faces. Like I don't have to look far. Okay, so I invite you to name what the judgments are. So for example, maybe someone is dishonest, maybe someone is unkind, maybe you experience someone as being selfish, boring. It could be anything at all. So no judgment about your judgments. And one of the things I love about our judgments, or those things that repel us, is that they actually, if we look at them just right, they reveal to us underneath them what we value. So for example, if we judge someone, if we struggle with someone being unkind, it's because you love kindness. Or if you struggle with someone who is dishonest, it's probably because you love authenticity. Or you struggle with someone who's maybe acting really selfish, because you love generosity and conscientiousness about others. So I made you to turn it around. What does something you're struggling with, somebody else, what are some of the values that it reflects to you about what you love? Give me a moment to think of that. What does it actually reflect? If you look underneath it, like, wow, it's because I just love whatever it might be. All right, so now what we're going to turn up the volume of that, because what happens is if there's something we're not enjoying in our life and we fixate on it, you've probably noticed we can become even more like it on some level. But instead, if we use that contrast to clarify who you want to be, how you want to show up, what you want to experience and embody even more of, then everything becomes a trigger for us to turn up the volume for even more good. So we're going to go ahead and turn to a couple people around you, and I invite you to say out loud whatever you just uncovered. I love, so in my example, I love kindness. I love it. I love generosity. I love honesty. Ready? So embody it, own it, claim it, turn up the volume. What do you love? Turn to some people around you. What do you love?
I love kindness toward animals. I love authenticity. I love authenticity.
Awesome. Okay, good job, everyone. What were some of those things you love? Shout it out. Diversity. We love diversity. What else do we love? Integrity. We love it. Positivity. Yes, we do. What else do we love?
Authenticity.
Giving space. No, is that what you said? Spaciousness. Yes, yes, yes. Anything else that we love? We love cousins. Just for the record, she said presence. Presence, being present. Okay, I know I missed some of those, but we love all these things. So again, use contrast for clarity means turn up the volume of that and commit to I want to be even more of that, and I want to appreciate those qualities in other people even more. All right, number 4 is to use everything for our awakening and positive growth. So I invite you to take your finger, and we are going to draw together a horizontal line. This horizontal line, this represents all the mistakes you made, all the things that didn't go the way that you wanted them to, the disappointments, the losses, the pain, all of that, part of life, right? Nobody escapes that. And now I invite you to take your finger, and we're going to go down, and this represents all the opportunities that everything offers us for our own awakening, our own healing, our own growth. So I love, good job, look at those close lines. So every minus is a plus sign just waiting to happen. And we can do that in any life experience. So one saying that I like to use is when we learn the lesson, we lessen the loss. All right, number 5 is to fertilize goodness with gratitude. So our brains actually, we have what is called a negativity bias, and this is for our survival. So if you were to meet 100 dogs that were cute and fluffy and loving and sweet and give you kisses, one dog that bit you, your brain is going to want to remember the one dog that bit you to prevent you from ever getting bit again. So our brains are like Velcro to negative experiences. They have immediate impact, but they're like Teflon to positive experiences. So we could actually have the most beautiful life, everything you think you'd ever want, and be miserable. Because life is only wonderful if we actually recognize and see it as such. The word appreciate actually means to increase the value of something. So the moment we shine the light of appreciation on something, it's like, whoa, I like that even more. So we're gonna do this together. So I invite you to look down at your hands. And you wanna cup your hands in front of you. These exquisite hands. I invite you just to look adoringly at your hands. You can touch them affectionately if you are so moved. A quote that I love is that if you only had tomorrow what you gave thanks for today, what would you have? So as you're looking at your hands right now, cherishing them, I invite you to reflect, when was the last time you said thank you for your hands? These phenomenal hands that help you all day, every day of your life. Was it the past week? You thanked your hands in the past month for all they do? Past year, the past decade? Have you ever paused to actually thank your hands for all they do? So in this moment, just feeling such appreciation for your hands, for all the tears they've wiped, the hands they've held, the ways that they have expressed love in ways beyond words, the hugs they've given, the people they've waved hello and goodbye to, the letters they've written, the meals they've lovingly prepared, the animals they've nurtured, and the ordinary everyday things like tying your shoes and driving your car and brushing your teeth. These hands are incredible. So that's how we get to live. That's how we get to be just intoxicated by the sheer beauty of life. Number 6 is to shift your physiology, to shift your psychology. So every single thought, every single movement, every single emotion, they are all working together. So when we shift our body, it instantly tells our brain, our body, what chemicals and hormones to release. And you get to turn your body into a generator of positive energy. So we're gonna do this together. Are you in? All right, yes. Let's go ahead and take your hands together. And I invite you to get to some position that is like gratitude for you. So for me, I love to bow my head a bit and just taking a breath to feel a moment of gratitude. Giving thanks for all of us being right here, right now, for everyone that came together to make it possible. And then placing your hands over your heart center, feeling this remarkable touchstone that you have available in every and any moment, and setting the intention that we greet one another with open hearts as we move throughout this day. And then opening your arms in this receptive position, feeling yourself open to receive, to be awake to all the gifts and blessings that are already right here, right now. And now in an excited position, because we want to celebrate life! Woo! And I want you to tap this grow the good in like you're planting seeds of goodness all over your body. And then I invite you to allow a smile to appear on your face. And then to high five 3 people around you. You've just grown the good in yourselves and you are happy about it. And lastly, so we began with wow, and we are going to end with wow. This time I am referring to a different wow, which I consider the wise one within. And we all have it. Because we're human, it is inevitable we are going to get stuck in outdated patterns, outdated stories, outdated beliefs, outdated ways of being. However, they may have once served a purpose, but they no longer do, and they're just patterns, and patterns can be changed. And I invite all of you to let this brand new beautiful moment that's never been here before to be like pressing this giant energetic reset button, and to be a moment to reconnect and to recommit to growing the good in your own mind, body, heart, and spirit. There are countless ways we could grow the good in any and every moment. And when you're wondering, how do I grow the good here? I invite you not to turn to your fears, not to turn to the misunderstandings you innocently picked up along the way that have made you believe that you are more limited than you are because you are vast. But for you to turn towards your inner wow, the wise one within, because that part of you connects you to your innate, one-of-a-kind magic. That part of you connects you to your vast heart, to love, to a spirit of resourcefulness, togetherness, and possibility. And when you check in with your inner wow, I assure you, that part of you will know exactly how to grow the good and will light the way for the greater good of all. Woo! Thank you all so much, and may goodness grow wherever you go. Thank you all for just being beacons of light in the world.